Hello, my name's Fiona and today I am going to show you how to make this very fetching beanie hat. It's got this nice ribbed pattern which gives it lots of stretch, and it's got a little turn up brim. It is made, the stitch we use is called the half treble crochet stitch, and it's a little bit taller than double but not as loose as the full treble crochet, so it's just half treble. And to work the rib pattern we also don't work the stitches as usual, instead we only go into part of the stitch below. But I'm going to show you all this along with two ways to complete the hat. Very simply, you can make a large rectangular swatch of the treble or the half treble crochet and then join it together, or what I think is a neater way to do it is to work each of your rows into what's called a magic circle, and that means the top of the hat all comes together as you work the width that you need so it can close in around your head, and then you just join it up and pull it all together at the top. So I shall show you both ways and then you can choose whatever you think's easier. Okay, so for half treble crochet you make the chain as long as you want the height of the hat to be, and I'll talk about sizes in a minute after I've shown you how to do the stitch. But to do the half treble crochet you yarn over the hook and you go into the third chain from the hook. Okay, so skip those two and we're going into here, just the top strand. You yarn over the hook and pull up a loop, so you will have 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over and take all of them off. So again, that's yarn over, go into the chain, yarn over, back to front, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and take them all off. And so this it uses as much yarn nearly as the treble crochet, but it just makes it a little bit tighter because we're not taking off 2 and then another 2 or anything. There's not as many gaps, so it's a bigger stitch than the double, but it is still quite tight, and it just gives a nice stretch for the hat, really, I thought. Okay, so when you get to the end of a row of half treble crochet, you chain 2 and you turn your work. And for this rib pattern we're looking for, we're going to go into only the back of these stitches in the row below. So you can see there, or you should be able to see the little V's of the stitches, 2 strands for each stitch. So we're going to yarn over and we're just going to pick up the back strand. So put your hook through, yarn over and pull it up, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and take them all off. Yarn over again and go to the next stitch, and it's just picking up this back strand. And you do that all the way along. When you get to the end of the row, you chain 2 and you turn again, and again you just work in to the back strand, and this is what creates the ridged pattern. Sorry, this is what creates this pattern of ridges then. and it looks the same front and back, and it gives a great stretch, an awful lot of stretch. Okay, my hat is just roughly 27 centimetres tall, and I based that on another hat that I had. I added a little bit extra because I want my brim to be able to turn up. And I'm going to do, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to make a child's hat, and it's going to be roughly about 16 centimetres tall. Now again, there is like a little bit of stretch and decrease in yarn as you crochet with it. So, and because you have to work at the beginning into the second chain from the hook, you would want to add like a little bit extra. So I would maybe work it my chain until it was about 17 centimetres long. Then lengthwise, or sorry, that would be widthwise, I worked mine until I could wrap it around my head, but as you can see here, it's about 24 centimetres. So that would mean I worked the whole thing until it was twice that, until it was about 48. But that, even though when it was worked it was 48, it could still stretch quite a bit. So you can stretch this hat out until it's nearly 30 centimetres. So, but I wouldn't work it to 30 centimetres because then it would fall down around my ears. So again, I am working the child's hat that's for like a 3-4-year-old to 24 centimetres. But that can stretch until it is about, if I can just show you, it stretches out to like nearly 30 centimetres. So there's good stretch that it would be able to fit a child's head. Not that I can show you how to stretch with only one hand, but again, you don't want to crochet all the way to 30 centimetres, you just want to rely on that stretch to make it fit around. And again, if you've got a child there, or you have a child's hat that you want to copy the dimensions of, then that's probably the easiest way to size these hats. To create a magic circle, we wrap the yarn around our fingers. So we hold the tail of it there and we wrap it in the form of an X. We put our hook through under the bottom strand, and we catch the top strand of the yarn and we pull it back through and we twist it, and then we go back in and catch the top strand of the yarn again, and if you wiggle it, it sort of loosens it to make more room, so you can pull that top strand back through the loop on the hook, and this creates a slip knot and the magic circle. So this is what we're going to work into. So you would chain from here the desired number of stitches that you need. So to work the child's hat, I have chained enough stitches to bring me up to 17 centimetres, and I've got my magic circle on one end. So then you just begin working into, again, the third chain from the hook. You just yarn over, go into the chain, yarn over, you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and take them all off, and this is just our half treble crochet stitch, and we'll work it all the way down until we come back to the magic circle at the other end. Okay, so I've completed my last half treble crochet and I'm back up again to the magic circle. So to join my row of stitches into it, I put the hook through the circle, I yarn over and I pull up a loop, and then I pull that loop through the loop that's already on the hook. Then I'm going to chain one and turn my work, and we begin our half treble crochets again. But this time we skip these two beginning stitches. One of them will be the chain we've just made, one of them is the slip knot. So we go into this third stitch from the hook, we yarn over, and we're going to just pick up the back strand of that stitch, and then you go into the next one, just continuing your half treble all down into the back strand, yarn over into the back strand, yarn over again to pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and take them all off, and you work that all the way down to your last stitch in the row. Again, you might want to put a safety pin or a paper clip or something to mark your last stitch, because depending on what yarn you're using, sometimes it can be a bit difficult to see what's your last stitch. But you just work those half treble crochets always in to the back only of the stitch in the row below, and that's how we build up the pattern. Okay, you can see I worked both patterns to the 21 centimeters roughly that we wanted for the circumference of the baby hat. So whether you used the magic circle like this, where it's already pulling together the top of the hat for us, or whether you've just done a plain rectangle of the half treble crochet, I'll show you now how to join these. They're both going to be joined in the same way, and then I'll show you how the top is gathered and finished off for both of the types of hat. Well, it's the same hat, but the different ways of working. Okay, I actually pulled out a row of stitches so that I'm starting from the bottom of the hat to join it together and finish at the top, and we're going to join it together with a slip stitch. So to just join these, I'm going to put it through both, yarn over and pull through both loops, and that's our slip stitch. So we're still going to work into the back yarn only. So you just pick up the next stitch and the back loop only along the top, you yarn over, you pull through, and then you pull through the loop on the hook. And our number of stitches, of course, should all match up as we do this one at a time. So it should be pretty simple to just close this all the way up to the top. And this would be the same. I'm doing this on the hat with the magic circle, but it really doesn't matter. You would join the other hat in just the same way. So I'll join them both in this way with the slip stitches into the back loop only, and then I will show you how we do the top of the hat, how we close it up. Right, so I finished slip stitching all the way up to join my hat, well, in the tube, and so this is the piece where we didn't use the magic circle. So I've cut off a tail that's about 3 times actually 4 times the radius of this hat, just so that we can sew the top of the hat together. So I'm just going to tie off my crochet hook work. So you just yarn over and pull through the stitch in the hoop and pull it right through to create a knot. And now I've got a crochet hook or darning needle that's blunt ended. So I'm just going to thread my needle and then we can begin to gather up the hat and join it. So you just go in at the top and just weave your needle in and out through the stitches at the top. You don't have to go across both sides, we're just going to pull it all together. So I've fed it all the way around, so I'm just going to pull the yarn through, the tail of yarn, and then that will allow me to close this up as tight as I can. And I'm just going to sew then back and forth over the top of that join to secure it. Okay, so back at the same place, I have now joined the 2 sides of the hat. I had a knot tied in this magic ring tail just to stop it from pulling through the loops and like coming undone as I worked to sew up the hat, so I'll just undo that. So when you've done your last slip stitch to join the 2 sides, then we slip stitch into the magic ring. So you go through under the magic ring, yarn over, pull back through and pull through the ring on your hook, and then we're ready to cut off a tail. Cut off the yarn and just fasten off the work by again yarning over and pulling it right through. So then we can grab this tail of the magic ring and just begin to pull it tight. And much easier than having to sew it like the previous hat. It just pulls in super tight. Again, you can thread your yarn needle and just secure that magic ring by sewing around just to make sure that it's super tight and super closed. And when you're happy that it's as tight and secure as you can make it, then you can cut off. You would sew in your other ends and you can cut them right down if you're secure, or if you're happy enough that they're tight enough, like that one I sewed in. So I cut it right down. You can weave in this last one, and then again you turn your hat inside out. Even tidier top of the hat, I think, the magic ring one. There's not much in it, but yeah, this one is much tidier and much easier. And then that is you. Hat complete. So I hope you have enjoyed making it. Cheers, bye.